Hello there everybody, this is Alex from Hardcorian Guides, bringing my guide for Resident Evil 4 on professional difficulty. Today we're doing chapter 2-3. This, I believe, will be the last act of chapter 2, I think it is. I think this might be the last one. I don't remember if there's 2-4 now, I don't think there was. So I think like the beginning first 2 chapters, they only go up to like 3 acts, I think it was. But anyway, I believe that after you complete chapter 2-2, if you don't pick up some of the items, I think they still will stay here even in chapter 2-3. I could be wrong, so that's why I'm saying I don't know for sure. But if it is true, then it's true. If it's not, it's not. So, we are, well, for right now, I'm basically, honestly I should have cut this out, but I figured it wasn't going to be too long anyway. What I'm doing right now is essentially just moving stuff around, because eventually I'm going to buy an RPG. And the reason why I'm going to buy an RPG, this is something, you don't have to do this. Of course, you don't even have to buy the RPG in general. You guys really don't have to do this at all. It's just something that I do. I'm going to be taking both pathways. I'm going to start with the Gigante path first, and then Louis around and take out the, I'm about to say cave woman. The chainsaw enemies, the female ones. I forget their name too. Like the only name for chainsaw guy I knew was Dr. Salvador, and that's because I watched a video basically talking about him. They're called something sisters. I just don't remember it, and I'm pretty sure someone's gonna comment eventually like, "Oh, you remember the male name but not the female name? You sexist, racist pig." Yeah, go ahead. I don't even care anymore. But yeah, I'm basically going to buy the RPG so I can take out Gigante. And I will be buying a second RPG near the end of this level around there. I don't remember the boss's name, and I know I'm a complete total dunce for forgetting the name. Granted, I could just go look it up right now, which is a good idea because I do have my phone right in front of me. So that way I can find out what the hell his name was, because I always forget it. It's one of those names that's just weird to me because I never get it right no matter what. Let's see. But yeah, there will be a multitude of bosses in this particular act of chapter 2, so yeah, that's going to be quite entertaining. Of course, you have an option to pick either left or right. It doesn't matter which way you go. Hell, like I said before, you can go both ways. It's Chief Mendez, that's his name. You can go both ways if you wanted. That's what I do here, so that's just the kind of guy I am. I'm always the guy trying to go down the middle path, I'm never trying to be a bad guy, but never trying to be the good guy either, I guess. I know, I'm kind of lame as shit. Luckily for me, the RPG takes out Gigante in like one shot, so I don't have to worry about him. But I think if you don't have the RPG, and if you want to take out the Gigante, my guide will not help you here at all, really. But from what I'm understanding, and you'll see it once we get to it. Ashley, can you move your fat head? Thanks. So, what you'll see eventually is, well, as Ashley basically just pointed out, there's boulders up above, and I think you can basically shoot those boulders and essentially, or shoot something to knock those boulders down on Gigante's head, and I think you get a free stun. I'm not too sure on that. That could be what it is. I don't know for sure. And then essentially you just cut these things down, shoot them off, whichever one you want to, make your way to the next path, find the next boulder, and rinse, lather, and repeat. But I decided to take the easy way out and just use an RPG just to blast his ass, because I am going to end up basically playing this game like I did with Dead Space 1 on Impossible mode, where I just try to salvage as much stuff as I possibly can and just buy everything that I think is worthy enough to buy and not waste money on buying random objects. But I have to admit, I feel like Resident Evil 4 is easier to get down than Dead Space 1 was. I feel like Dead Space 1 was really tough on Impossible mode, but that's just me, and hell, that was like a long time ago too, so my skill has probably changed by now. So I made a huge ass mistake. And this will basically probably end up being a running gag throughout the entirety of this playthrough, and it's going to suck so bad. I can't believe I was this stupid. So, for those that don't know exactly what just happened, I didn't go to open the door because I thought that if I did, it would lead me out into the next section and I couldn't come back. That's a lie. You can come back. For the most part in Resident Evil 4, you can go back to anywhere you really want to go. I think there's some areas that, of course, you can't go back to for, plot reasons or just whatever reason they make up, pretty much. But as far as I know, these doors, I believe you can go back through. The mistake I made, since I didn't go through the door, was now I had the giant key for the rest of the game. There is no getting rid of key items because that would essentially break your game. And I'm an idiot for thinking that. And the problem is, sometimes this game lets you select, like sometimes whenever you're going to use a key item on like a door or something, sometimes they'll come up and be like, okay, here you go. We pre-selected it for you so we can save you the trouble. And every once in a while, they don't do that, and I hate that. So the first thing I do here is I make sure that I put Ashley inside that bin, and then I just go ahead and take these guys out as I see fit. So for right now, we don't have to worry about any chainsaw enemies, nothing like that, nothing too big, just some Las Plagas, some of the basic Ganado type style enemies. And I do miss a treasure here too, and I did find it on my newer playthrough that I've been going through recently. And if I can remember exactly where it's at, I'll give you guys a hint as to where to look for. I think I actually go in that room too, and I miss the window that goes out to it. You'll see you'll see once I get there. Once I take out the Quasimodo sisters. I don't know what their names really are, but once I take out the sisters, then we should be good. Yeah, the Red 9 is a great weapon, honestly, and that's why I definitely suggest that you get it first. And also, did you notice that I have not actually used, okay, this time around, okay, I'm gonna back up even farther here. I died on this part because I'm stupid, so restarting this, I think I died like once, maybe twice. Yeah, I know I died like twice on this whole area, as far as I remember, like here and then after the chainsaws. But so you see those barrels over there? Yeah, the first time around I did use them because I thought, what the hell, why not? But then when I died and had to do this again, I thought to myself, like, hey Alex, why not just keep those for the chainsaw enemies, drag them back over here, and then blow it up that way? And it's like, oh, that might be actually a good idea. So yeah, you see I'm taking some extra precaution right here. I'm just waiting for this guy to come out and not hit the barrel on accident, because that's not essentially what I'm trying to go for. If he would have blown up the barrel, it wouldn't have mattered. I would have taken him out just the same way I would normally. But this guy, luckily, he, well, luckily I didn't hit the barrel and I hit him instead, so that's good. That's good on me. That's good on me. Honestly, looking back now, I could have done a much better job with this guide in terms of gameplay quality, because, once you've beaten it multiple times, you essentially get better and better at it. And I've noticed that, like, looking back, I could do a lot better job at taking enemies out. Because on my first time through, from my original playthrough, of course I was intimidated, I was worried that I wouldn't be able to get to certain spots or whatever the case was. And then in my technically recent first playthrough of professional mode, after I found, some of the tricks and tips, like with the RPG, I had a little bit more confidence in myself, because I figured, I could just buy an RPG for, selected bosses and just take them out that way. But I was also scared, too, like, what if I don't have enough money for that boss? I have to fight them legitimately, which does happen sometimes, but not all the time. And then after I beat professional mode, I ended up getting more confidence in myself, did this guide, had a little more confidence, and now, going through my next playthrough with basically, the Matilda and the electric weapon. Matilda I don't really care for, but the electric weapon and infinite rocket launcher and all that other stuff, I definitely have a major confidence boost going through professional mode. And most likely, not to, be that guy or anything like that. I feel like I could have done so much better if I would have just waited instead of just jumping right into this guide. Just because. Because I wanted to do it, and I just, I like doing these things. I like doing guides, and that's just how I am. But, there's always room for opportunity to come back at a later date and just do like a re-guide or something. You know, like advanced tips or whatever. Just throw those out there. Advanced gameplay. I don't know. Basically, just better stuff. Just better. That always could happen. There's always room for that stuff. Like, maybe one day I'll probably try to get myself back into playing Metal Gear Rising and hopefully do a better job than I did back then, but who knows. I mean, I think I did a relatively good job then. I just feel like when it came to my strategies, I don't remember what they were, but I'm sure there were like basic stuff that I figured out throughout the playthrough, and probably I can still do it now. And mostly the Sam fight was probably the only thing I remember in terms of giving any sort of decent strategy to, which essentially was just, you know, parry the shit out of the bastard because he do a lot of damage with it. Oh, lordy, lordy. So yeah, as you saw there, I did use the barrels to my advantage. And I actually did take this a little bit smarter than I actually intentionally thought I was going to. I ended up, you know, knocking back the chainsaw enemy, the chainsaw sister, and then I knifed him. That's smart. That's smart play. That's what you're trying to aim for. And I know, like, on paper, it sounds like it's a stupid idea. You're probably thinking, like, well, first of all, if you use a knife, you're super vulnerable, or, you know, you are slower, or whatever the case may be. It does less damage, but that's not true. That's not the case. Now, when it comes to Resident Evil 5, most likely you probably are weaker. I don't really remember that. I never really used the knife much in that game anyway. But when it comes to the knife in this game, the knife in this game is really, really powerful. It's actually really dominating for what it is. So yeah, I ended up coming all the way over here and then calling Ashley out because I don't know why. I for some reason I thought it would just save me time and trouble. And then I guess I was wanting to put her in that bin, but then I guess I decided against it. Yeah, folks, it's been a while since I've done this, so. Also, Ashley can't climb ladders. Proven right here. She literally won't climb the ladder. I know, it's ridiculous. I mean, I get it, she's the president's daughter, you know, whatever, but come on. Can you at least just freaking climb the goddamn ladder? It's not that hard, even if it is crickety. Well, shit, it's not even that far of a jump down here. I know, you know, Leon's legs are basically made out of freaking concrete, but you can... That's still a jump, you know, somebody with nimble legs like yourself can make. Like, let's be honest here. Let's be straight honest here. Yeah, that's true, folks. Leon never skipped leg day at all, and that definitely shows in this game for no... Yeah, for no doubt. He definitely did. Alright, so now we got the camp key, and I got the ruby from the second chainsaw enemy, so here we go. And you saw right there that the game opted me to use the giant key, and that's going to be a giant thorn in my ass throughout the entirety of the rest of the playthrough. So, get used to that. That's my one huge mistake, and believe me, that's not the only reason I wanted to do a re-guide of this entire guide, because, well, honestly, the rest of the guide just fucking sucks. Alright, so when it comes to putting Ashley somewhere, you can put her in the bin. I mean, you totally can. I just don't feel like it's any safer, really. Well, okay, it's probably the safest bet you have because she's hidden. But I feel like just having her farther away from this area, or, you know, you can put her in the campsite if you really wanted to. You can put her in the campsite, like where the chainsaw enemies first spawned at, and then kick the door out. Well, you know, make her wait, kick the door in, come in here, kill these guys off, and then have her follow you. You could do that too, and that's what I'm doing right here. Or, you know, like I said, you can put her in the bin, whichever one. It doesn't really matter, honestly. That's what these things are here for. And it's funny because, like, in my original first playthrough of the game ever, I always thought that enemies could essentially find her in the bins, and they can if I believe they can if they see you putting her in there, but most of the time they don't know that she's in there, so they just avoid it completely. And on professional, I was always kind of worried that they would find her in there just because it's professional. You know, I thought, okay, since it's harder, maybe most likely they'll look, but apparently that's not the case. Okay, so I don't know if I'm going to do it or not. Maybe I might have lied to you guys. Yeah, I totally skipped on it. Okay, so there's a door I'm not sure where exactly it was, but it's located around this area somewhere. I know that for a fact. Not in this part right here, but if you hit triangle or whatever button it was, and you look at your map, there's a treasure that looks to be hidden behind the area with the bin over here. Maybe I'm going back. Yeah, you see that barrel right there? Sorry, guys, just choked my own spit. My bad. So, God damn it, Ashley, you fucking idiot. You klutz. So, behind that fence, there's a treasure back there. So, scale the wall, and if you find a door that you can go through, or some kind of area you can go into, that will actually have, like, a hatch leading downward to some underground thing. That's the room you want to be in. First, you know, go down that ladder and all that, and get all the stuff up there. Come back up, and before you leave that door, right on the right side of that door, there's a window that's made out of wood that you can break through. That was the second treasure I missed because... Wait, did I miss that first one? And chapter, what was it, 1-1 or 1-2? There was one that was hiding behind another one of those boarded windows. Basically, it wasn't really a window. It was just like boards. You know, the window was gone, but the boards were blocking it off pretty much. Look at that. I could have totally just frickin' put the key back in there, but I'm an idiot. Actually, no, I don't think you can do it from the other side. Maybe, I don't know. I don't even know if that was the right door. But regardless, the mistake has been made, and it could never be taken back. It will never be taken back. Now I'll be known as the guy that never put the giant key in the damn door. Because this guy is a complete and total idiot. Alright, so save it. Do all that great stuff. Fun, fun, fun. And I'm going to come up here, and I'm going to buy an RPG again. Because we're about to fight Chief Mendez. That's right, folks. We're about to have our next boss fight. And this one is a doozy. It's not like that terrible, but it's hard. It's hard at first, I feel like. And in my other playthroughs, I ended up using the TMP on him before. And honestly, I think that's a pretty good weapon for him, personally. But you know what's even better? An RPG. That's right. Yeah, and unfortunately I had to, you know, swap out some items here, so might as well just swap out some of the TMP ammo I'm never going to use. I was actually quite upset about that. I was like, man, there goes that TMP ammo I could have totally sold. That's the thing, too. I didn't think about it at first. And granted, honestly, I could have easily just done it. I could have just put the RPG away, you know, not bought it, and then sold the TMP ammo, and then bought the RPG, but I made the mistake of doing that, so that's just my fault. So, you don't necessarily need the rifle for this part. This is just something that I do just to save me the trouble for later. Once you get on this little... God damn it, what do they call them again? Why do I always do this? I always forget things. Forget what things were called. Gondola? I believe that's what it is. Well, essentially, as you see right here, if you shoot them once, they fall off. And they fall off into, like, black mist forever, and they never come back. So, they're gone for good. Yeah, you lose out on ammo or whatever supplies you can get from them, but hey, they're dead, and that's better than nothing. Sometimes you can get, like, 3 dudes in one shot if you're lucky, like those two. I just made, like, a 7-10 split right there. Right down the middle, boys. So, they're gonna keep coming until a certain amount. They don't infinitely spawn, which is good. But just keep your eye out for them. You can use the handgun, or really almost anything that has a decent bit of range to it, to knock them off. I think a handgun shot actually might knock them off in one shot, too. Which, I think is kind of weird. I mean, they're standing on these freaking things, and, you know, you wouldn't expect somebody in real life that got shot just to, you know, lean over and fall off the damn thing, but apparently these guys do, so... Oh, man, that was a miss and a half. Yeah, and honestly, leaving him alive probably wasn't the best idea, but hey, we all make mistakes. Granted, I don't think that guy even comes back, because I think once they go up there, they disappear for good. Because he never really gave me trouble after this. But yeah, you saw right there, I used just a basic herb on Ashley. I have no intention on giving her any health upgrades whatsoever throughout the entirety of the game. And the reason being is because she gets grabbed way more than she ever gets shot at. That, at least on my end of things, that happens. So, you know, Why bother giving her health now in this playthrough when I can use it for myself? That's what I say. Save all the big stuff for the big boys. That's what I call it. Call it as it is. Actually, it's a piece of shit. Yeah, everybody wants a little bit of that touchy tum stuff, so you know, let them touch her in places and, you know, take pictures of it and all that good stuff, and then we just carry on our way and let Leon take the damage and, you know, heal him up because he's a good boy. That's what you gotta do. So for in here, as you saw right there, I shot the grenade prematurely just because there's like only 2 guys in there. Just kill them both off at the same time. 2 birds with 1 stone, and I save ammo. So hey, why not? You can kill them how you see fit. There's 1 guy up here, and then that's it. And then we go downstairs completely, and then there's a merchant, and then what else is there? I think we head into that little farmhouse thingy, or whatever the hell Mendez is hiding in. I forget. I don't know frickin' country stuff. Okay, I'm not a country guy. All right, I wasn't born and raised in the country. I was born and raised in the city. I'm a city boy. That's right, I'm one of them fucking queers. One of them little fucking queers that don't ride tractors and, you know, he don't drink beer and ride tractors all day. What the hell does he do with his life? He don't do shit. He ain't got a life if he ain't riding a tractor. Yada, 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 yada. Okay, so now we have the beer stein. Done. Pretty much. Why can I not come up with commentary? What the hell is wrong with me today? I almost said yada yada on accident. I'm a complete moron. Yeah, you saw it there. I was trying to figure out anything and everything I could possibly do with that damn key, but at that point, I was stuck with it. It's basically like genital herpes at this point. Like, no matter how much you try to get rid of it, it ain't going away. And unfortunately, that's the sad truth about the matter of things. And that's what happens when you mess up like an idiot like I am. But hey, that's what these playthroughs... That's the other side of these playthroughs, folks. Not only am I trying to give you some good tips and tricks that I found out or, you know, stole from somebody else, but I'm also trying to keep you guys entertained at the same time. And by God, if my pain and misfortune entertains you, then more power to it, I guess. Because it's going to happen quite often. And then as you saw there, I sold off some stuff. And then grabbed all my supplies. You can save your game. You don't have to. Because, again, if you go through those doors with green text on them, then essentially you get a checkpoint, a free checkpoint. So it's always nice to have that. This game definitely has a good checkpoint system. It has a good checkpoint system. I like it. I like it a lot. Alright, so be prepared for this fight. So, there's more than one way to fight him, of course. No surprise. I mean, it's a boss fight. You can do anything you want. But here's what I'm going to do, and here's how I'm going to do it. I'm not going to waste the RPG just yet. I flash him. If you got the flash, go for it, because you get an automatic stun that you saw right there. I don't know exactly his weak point. I assume it's probably the middle joint right there, at least where his spine is at. Looks like I got hit there. Yeah, sometimes if you get grabbed, you can do these quick time events where you shake him off, and then you actually knock him back a considerable amount. It's ridiculous. The shotgun's pretty good here. TMP if you have it. Just flash him, grenade him. Basically, try everything you possibly can to get that top, well, that bottom half cut off. That's essentially what I'm going for. And also, he gives you plenty of time when he's got, you know, his whole body together. He gives you plenty of time to run up here and do things. But when he's got his top half cut off, he feels like he's a lot more aggressive when he's got his top half cut off, and that's why I'm going to be using the RPG on the top half instead of the, you know, the first phase of this fight, because I want that damn thing gone. Because believe it or not, folks, this, when I was first playing this in professional mode, like actually trying to beat it before this, you know, guide video of it, I was having troubles with this fight because I would RPG him first, and then I would try to kill off the top half. And that wasn't working, so I switched it up. I decided to fight off this first phase with just, you know, bullets, which, honestly, this is the easiest phase of the two, to be honest with you. Just, once you do it enough, you learn his pattern, you learn the timing for it, you know, you basically just get him down. He's really slow, so he's really not that scary to worry about here. He can be a little bit intimidating, but they typically give you just enough quick time events and just enough time to, you know, basically escape him. Of course, like you see right there, I'm pretty much just reloading nonchalantly, just not even carrying the world, you know, because he can't really catch up that fast. So that's the good part of it. With enough shots, chop off, you chop off his bottom half, and then this is the tricky part. Do not shoot it just yet. Wait for him to back up and kind of like keep your eye on him a little bit and run around. And any quick time events that come up, just use them to your advantage. And then run right through there. And when you get the perfect opportunity, when you know he's not going to jump away from you because he's very jump heavy in this fight, blast him with the RPG straight to the face and take him out completely. And that is the end of Chief Mendez. Yep, that's it. Didn't even die. He's not that tough, really, once you learned him a bit. That's the thing about Resident Evil 4 that I noticed. Like, once you learn the bosses, they really become shit easy with the RPG. They really can be. Once you know, like, what phases they have, then they really become essentially easy. Granted, you know, you don't have to waste an RPG. You know, again, you guys can do things your own way, but this is Hardcorian Guides, where we do everything shittier. So, and a little bit unprofessionally. That's just how things are. So I saved you guys like a minute there. That whole frame, that frame skip just chipped off about 17 seconds of the speed run. So in the meantime, while we're going through this cutscene, just go ahead and read off donations. No, I'm kidding. All right, so there's something I figured out about this part that I didn't notice in this guide, and I'll tell you about it in just a minute. So first things first, shoot this damn truck until it catches on fire. Shoot it right in the front, right there. And then once it catches on fire, let it fall down. You know, pretend like you're a cool guy, like you're not going to get hit, and then you probably would get hit. So there's a trick here. Did you guys notice something? There was no enemies that were there until I ran past the truck, correct? That is correct. Here's a fun little trick you can do. You can actually make it to where they don't spawn. How do you do that? Simple. When you go to the truck, turn around and face the door and walk backwards like that. If you walk backwards like that, they can't spawn. Immediately when you turn around to run up this hill, they spawn. That's how it works. It's just all a trick of... it's just all a giant illusion. They pretty much come through the door. I assume they come through the door, but they don't show you coming through the door because, you know, they got to save memory or animation and all that other stuff. They didn't bother doing it, which I don't blame them. I really don't blame them. When it comes to game development, people just get super fucking shitty about everything, and I hate it. They have to understand that these games take a long time to fucking make, so they should be happy that they actually had a fucking game in the first place. It's so annoying. But anyway, when it boils down to it, you can basically go through this entire section. Not the truck section, but, you know, once you blow up the truck, you can pretty much just get to the bridge without them ever spawning at all. You don't have to fight them. Just, again, you know, turn your... before you run past the truck, face the door, walk backward, and there you go. They don't spawn. You guys don't believe me? Try it out for yourself. It really works. I promise you. At least it worked for me, though. I may have to make a... I'm about to go back through it and check just to be on the safe side, but yeah. Alright, so we're pretty much nearing the end of Chapter 2-3, and I think the next chapter should be 3-1, I believe. You guys will see it once we get to the end of this, but I'm going to get the hell out of here. So I hope you guys enjoyed this episode, and I'll see you all in the next one, which will be chapter... oh god, it went by too quick. I couldn't see. So, anyway, take care, everybody.